Hi everyone, welcome back to the Things I Hate Season 2! We talk about video games trying to sell us commercials! I'm Acescorcher, and today we're going to be talking about Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked. If you want to know my more in-depth thoughts about this, we also have the Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked review, which will be coming out around the same time, so check it out if you want. Now without further ado, let's get started. First things I'd like to talk about is the fact that Clank isn't really a playable character in this one. This is the first game in the franchise where Clank isn't playable in any sense, which kind of sucks because I liked the Clank levels, whether the levels you do with the gadget bots, the giant Clank, like I miss this. So seeing that this is one of the first games without it kind of sucks because he's essentially been delegated to more of a side role, in a sense of like he's your guy in the comms type person. I miss just having Clank with you. Also, since he's gone, you don't really have the maneuverability you would with him. Now, in a sense, I understand that because Deadlocked isn't really like about the exploration and platforming as with the older games were, so maybe it not make sense, but they could have at least given Clank a better role. Maybe turn him into one of the two, like... Now, I know Ratchet & Clank Deadlock isn't the platforming type of game like the other three games in the series at that point in time, but they could have at least given him a better thing to do. Like, you could have probably thrown a giant Clank level in here or there, or turn him into one of the two commando bots that we had. Like, I would have been fine with that. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to this is the fact that you don't really have a lot of interaction with the other heroes. Essentially, Ratchet and other heroes are kidnapped and forced to compete in this TV show called Dreadzone. And the thing is, you don't really get to see all the other heroes. Now, mind you, some of them end up dead, which is understandable, but there's still a few that do end up alive at the end of all of this, thanks to Ratchet and Clank. And now, what doesn't make sense is why we can't have any interaction really with them. The one time you really get to talk to the other heroes is at the end once you've saved them. You only get to talk to like two of them. I would have preferred if at least across the game you could have interacted with some and then maybe see them die. Or at least gotten to understand how being heroes have affected them, or how this whole competition has affected them at some degree. It would have been at least cool to have that, but you really don't even get to have those interactions. It's a real waste. Now, I get that they wanted to cut down the characters that Up Your Arsenal had, but at the very least, I would have liked to have gotten to know more of these different characters, even if we're only really going to see them for this game. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is weapons. Now, it's not a gripe about how good the weapons are. It's more just the idea of leveling them up. You see, once you enter challenge mode, you know, your weapons will get to be at a higher level than they were in the base game. And what is the max level? 99! This, I don't really understand. Why boost the level of what you can upgrade to 99? Now, mind you, I personally could never get that far. Maybe I think I gave up around 20 because I just thought to myself, what's the point? What's the point of boosting these levels all the way to 99? Sure, maybe these weapons by that point could all nuke enemies, which maybe you may be interested in, but at the same time, by the point you even try to do that, there's nothing left in the game for you to do that would justify it. Like, by that point, you've probably already done New Game Plus far too much that there's not really anything new or challenging left by this point anyway, so what was the point of adding all of this grinding for? Like, maybe I'm just looking at this wrong, but It just seems like a lot of access work for no reason. But what do I know? But that's just my opinion. So what do you guys think about Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked? Is there anything I miss? Or anything that you'd like to tell me? Please leave in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Reminder, we have the Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked review, so go check it out if you can. And hopefully we'll see you in either our next videos or when we go live. So, till next time, I've been Ace. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.